Hi, I'm Don from DonDronesOn. Drone Pilot Canada version 2.1 is now available, including features like user-defined fields, provincial parks, and much, much more. Let's check it out. Here are the new features in Drone Pilot Canada version 2.1. Number 1, user-defined data fields. Number 2, the ability to export checklists and procedures. Number 3, location and rule information for provincial parks. 4, a new map aid called pin drop location data. The option to disable map following. And last but not least, a number of simplifications particularly helpful to novice drone pilots. Feature number 1 is user-defined data fields. This capability has been requested by a number of Drone Pilot Canada users, especially drone companies who have lots of clients and manage several drones. This feature allows you to define your own additional data fields for all 4 data types in the app: crew, aircraft, maintenance logs, and flight logs. So now you can do things like add an employee number for each of your pilots, keep track of the battery used on each flight, or, well, whatever you want. So let me show you how to do it. Let's say you want to track which battery you used on each flight. Well, when you're on the new flight screen here, you'll see a User Fields button in the top right. You will also see this User Fields button on your pilot screen or your crew screen, your aircraft screen, and maintenance screens. They all work the same way. Tapping on it, you'll see your current user fields, which is nothing right now, of course, because I haven't done it. So if you tap the plus sign, you can now define your new field. You type in the name of your new field, say battery, and you can select which kind of data you want to be allowed in this field: text, numbers, or a date. In this case, text makes the most sense, so I'll just leave it as text and hit OK. You can add more fields if you want, just by hitting the plus sign. So let me just add another one just for fun. Let's say filter. So if you use ND filters, for example. Okay. And when you have more than one, you can use the Manage button to rearrange them. So now filters on top, now batteries on top. If I want to get rid of them, I hit the little X there to delete it. Tapping on the field allows you to enter a value for this particular flight. So my batteries are labeled A, B, and C, so I can simply enter an A, and that shows my battery. And for the filter, maybe I used an ND16. And simply go back to your flight to continue. The fields you define will be available for all future flights, and the data will be saved with your flight logs. And of course, they synchronize across all the devices in your team. And by the way, the very first field that you have on your list, in my case, batteries, will show up in your list. So either in the flight logs or the pilot list, if you entered pilot fields and that sort of thing. Let me show you. So here we are on the flight log list. You can see for my demo flight here, the battery used was battery A. And if I tap on that record, you can see on the user fields screen, battery A and filter ND16. So this is a very cool feature. It allows you to customize Drone Pilot Canada to your own needs, your own organization, whatever you want, and store extra information that is of particular interest to you and perhaps no one else. Feature number 2, checklist export. Several people have asked for the ability to export their checklists and procedures, and here it is. On the hamburger menu, under Data Management, you can see that there is now an Export Checklists item. Tapping that will allow you to attach all of your checklists and procedures to an email in text format. You can then pull them into whatever program you want for filing, printing, or whatever. Feature number 3 is Provincial Parks. We already had the 49 national parks in the app, so we decided how hard could it be to add the provincial parks? Well, does anyone know how many provincial parks we have in Canada? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Yes, that's right, over 2,400 provincial parks. British Columbia alone has almost 1,000, and every province has a slightly different policy when it comes to drone use in their parks. Anyways, to make a long story short, we've added all the provincial park locations to the app, and you can click on them to see the name of the park and a short version of the province's drone policy. And spoiler alert, other than in Manitoba, you'll need permission of one form or another to fly from a provincial park. And in all cases, you must not harass wildlife or park visitors, even if you launch from outside the park. Feature 4 is Pin Drop Location Labels. Whenever you tap on the map, a pin symbol is dropped, and the guidance circles, by default 0.5 and 1 kilometer in radius, are displayed. Now, if you tap on the pin drop symbol again, we show information about that location. The distance from your current location, the latitude and longitude of that location, in both decimal and degree, minute, second formats, and the elevation above sea level. This information is also displayed when you're selecting locations for manually recorded flights and when preparing a NAV Canada RPAS flight authorization request. Helpful information when planning flights. Feature 5 is the option to disable map following. I'm sure some of you are scratching your head over this one, but there's a good reason for this feature. Normally, Drone Pilot Canada's map follows you as you're traveling, automatically recentering the map as your location changes. All good. But if you're in a moving vehicle and you're trying to plan a drone flight ahead at your destination, and presumably you're a passenger in the vehicle, by the way, the map screen will keep jumping back to your current location as the vehicle moves. So we now offer an option on the main map dot menu to stop following me, essentially stopping GPS tracking on the map. Whenever you wish, you can tap Follow Me again to resume the regular location tracking. A couple of people have asked for this feature, so here you go. Last but not least, we've simplified a few things in Drone Pilot Canada. Firstly, you'll find the menus more consistent, easier to navigate, and we've tried to eliminate extra steps. For example, you'll notice the save buttons are gone. If you leave a screen, your updates are just automatically saved. The biggest change, though, is on the map information. For every one of the different circles and colors and weird shapes we show on the map, we have now added some very simple instructions, directed at either basic drone pilots or advanced drone pilots. No longer do you have to rack your brain trying to remember what you should do near a registered aerodrome versus a certified heliport. We spell it out to you in simple, concise words. Let's take a look around Halifax just as a convenient example. So let's click on, say, near Lawrencetown here. We can see that this is a registered aerodrome, that's why there's the orange circle, and the instructions that we provide are for both basic and advanced pilots. Fly with caution, stay out of aircraft traffic patterns. If we click over here in the middle of those two circles, we'll see that there are two issues pertaining to this particular area. The top one is the control zone. It's a Class D controlled airspace. For basic pilots, it's a no-fly zone. For advanced pilots, you must have an approved NAV Canada RPAS flight authorization request. So we give you the basic instructions about what you can do, and a reminder that you can actually issue one of those flight authorization requests directly from within the app. The other issue at this point is that there is an Air Force base heliport, a military aerodrome, as it says here. Again, basic pilots, no fly zone. Advanced pilots, because it's a military aerodrome, pilots require an SFOC. Okay, so it gives you the basic information. And if we click up here, for example, where the Stanfield International Airport is, again, it will give you the the controlled airspace information at the top, and then the fact that it's a certified airport down below. Basic pilots, no-fly zone. Advanced pilots follow the airport's drone procedure, for which you would need to contact the airport to determine what that procedure might be. None of this lets you, the drone pilot, off the hook as being 100% accountable for the safety and legality of your flight. But, especially for novices, this basic information will make it easier to understand whether it's okay to fly in a particular location or what you need to do in order to fly there legally. And in case you're wondering, your map data, aerodromes, airspace information, and parks are all updated automatically in the background. You don't have to do anything to keep up to date with the regular cycle of changes in drone-related aviation information. Drone Pilot Canada version 2.1. User-defined data fields, the ability to export checklists and procedures, location and rule information for provincial parks, a new map aid called Pin Drop Location Data, the option to disable map following, and finally a number of simplifications particularly helpful to novice drone pilots. Drone Pilot Canada is available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. If you have any questions, suggestions, or other feedback, don't hesitate to contact me at DonDronesOn@gmail.com. Well, there we have it. Drone Pilot Canada version 2.1. Enjoy the new features. Safe and happy flying.